everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day weekend, each and every one of you. Welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks. Today I'm going to talk about Vegas tips for first-time visitors, or maybe visitors who are going back to Vegas for the first time in some time. Now, the videos that I've done over the past couple of weeks are going to be really helpful for first-time visitors, so make sure to check out our video on how to get the best airfares, and also the two-part videos that we did on airport transportation, because there's a lot of good information in there that's going to apply to your first-time visitor. In addition, next week, at least next week, and it may be a two-parter, we're going to talk about how to choose a hotel, which is obviously a very common question that I get and that I think anybody that's been to Las Vegas gets. Hey, what hotel should I stay in? Well, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. But we'll talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of certain hotels on the next video. But today we're going to talk about some general tips that I think are important for you as a first-time visitor. For one thing, welcome to this channel. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if the information we're giving you here today is helpful, because we're going to have more and more of it. Also, be sure to check out the website below, VegasTipsTricks.com, where I will go into more detail on some of the things I'm going to talk about today, and it's on some additional topics that I may not cover today. First of all, Las Vegas is a spectacle. If you've never been, you can't really prepare yourself for it. And the biggest part of that spectacle is the 4 miles or so of Las Vegas Boulevard, which we call the Strip. And the Strip leads to my first tip of the day, and that is make sure you're staying on the Strip. Now, I love to spend a couple of nights downtown or stay at some of the great hotels off the Las Vegas Strip. But if you're a first-time visitor, you want to be on the Strip, you want to be in the middle of the action, because that's what you're going to want to see. And the great thing about being a first-time visitor is there's so much to see, okay? You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't even have to spend a lot of money gambling or eating or any of those things, because just walking around and checking out these massive hotels, resorts, casinos, attractions are going to take up days, and you're still not going to see everything you want to see, which is why most of you are going to want to come back. So make sure you're staying on the Strip, and make sure you're staying, I'd say, within a kind of a compact area if you're planning to walk, and you should plan to walk, because it's an entirely different and a better experience when you see Las Vegas on foot. So I wouldn't recommend staying any further south than about Tropicana Boulevard. Pull up a map. It's really easy to pull one up on Google. Which puts you down, say, New York, or MGM Grand. That's as far south as I would want to stay. On the other end, I wouldn't want to stay much further north than, say, Treasure Island, Harrah's, that sort of area. And it's not because the hotels in those other areas aren't great hotels. I mean, I can think right off the top of my head, the Wynn Hotel, Venetian, Mandalay Bay, those are 3 terrific places to stay, but they're a little bit to either to the north or the south end of the Strip, which means a lot more walking, or you're taking cabs and buses and spending money on that when you don't need to. Ideally, you want to stay right around the corner of Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard. That's where the Bellagio is located. That's where Caesar's Palace is located. That's where Bally's and a smaller hotel called the Cromwell are located. If you can stay in as close to that area as possible, you can see so much of Las Vegas on foot the way you should see it, and experience Las Vegas, the street scene, the street performers, just the crazy people watching, which it's absolutely free of charge. Well, kind of. Let's talk a little bit about getting to Las Vegas. We talked about arriving at the airport. We've got a video showing you the airport also just a few weeks back. The Las Vegas airport is very well organized. It's easy to find your luggage. It's easy to find transportation. Once you get to your hotel, the first thing you're probably going to think to yourself is, oh my God, we're walking everywhere. It's like a mile from registration just to get to my room. I have to walk through this huge casino. It's a maze. Yes, it is. Basically half of the top 20, top 40 hotels in the world in terms of size are in Las Vegas, and they're pretty much all on the Las Vegas Strip. So not only do you think you've never seen anything like it before, you haven't seen anything like it before. When you're staying in a hotel with 3,000 rooms, guess what? Those hallways get pretty long. The elevator waits can get pretty long. It can be quite a hike just to go from registration to your room. So keep that in mind. Make sure you wear comfortable shoes. I can't emphasize that enough because you are going to be walking. Las Vegas is in the desert. It is typically warm. If you want to visit during the best times of the year, in my opinion, go in, say, April and May, right at the start of spring, or September, October, right at the start of fall. It's still warm, it's still very nice, but it's not overly hot. If you go in the middle of July and August, it's going to be hot. Unless you've lived in the desert, it's going to be hotter than you can ever imagine that it is, okay? So keep that in mind. Yeah, you can hang out by the pool. That's great. You know, everything indoors is air conditioned, but it's still hot. And if you do go in the middle of summer, make sure you're staying hydrated. Drink lots of water. That doesn't mean drink lots of beer, although you can do that too. But make sure you're staying hydrated. You know, you're not going to be able to stay out for quite as long. In the winter, it does get cold, okay? This is not Phoenix. Okay? You're not going to go to Las Vegas in December and January and expect the temperatures to be in the 70s and you're going to hang out by the pool in shirt sleeves and shorts. No. Prepare to dress in layers. Prepare for, you know, temperatures in the 50s, 60s during the day. Sometimes it's a little better than that. Sometimes it's shirt sleeve weather in the middle of the afternoon. But at night, in the desert, it gets cold. Okay? And you know, it can easily get down into the 30s and 40s, and as some of you may have noticed recently, it can even snow. So that's an important climate tip. Just in general, personal safety is always a concern when you travel. Las Vegas is one of, I believe, the safest places you can visit, particularly if you stay in the tourist zones like the Strip or downtown. You know, you are probably safer than you are at your home, okay? But there are still people who will try to victimize you, who will try to pick your pocket or try to scam you, and just don't engage with those people. When people try to engage you in conversation or try to sell you something, don't, okay? Because it's never going to end well, all right? Along those same lines, don't buy bottles of water from random coolers that people have on pedestrian crosswalks. You don't know where that water came from. I don't care if it's $1, okay? It probably came out of a tap, and who knows where the bottles came from. There are these really cool people dressed up in costumes, you know, like Transformers or showgirls or, you know, superheroes, and hey, you want to take a picture with me? It's not free, okay? It's not part of the package. They expect a gratuity. They can become sometimes sort of aggressive and very annoyed if you don't tip them. So keep that in mind. There's nothing wrong. If you want to give these folks $5, $10, $20, take a picture, you know, great. But just remember, you know, that's how they're getting paid. So, and there'll be club promoters and all kinds of people just trying to engage you. I just recommend not, okay? Because it just doesn't end well. And just be aware of your surroundings. You know, keep a hand on your valuables. Make sure you use your hotel safe. Use common sense. Don't get so drunk that you don't know where you are, because somebody will know where you are. But otherwise, very safe. So the reason I say stay Center Strip, or as close to Center Strip as possible, is because most people are in Las Vegas for, say, 3 days. If you're Center Strip, you can have an itinerary the first day of just doing a sort of strip walk to the south. Okay, you know, walk all the way down to Mandalay Bay, Luxor, and then make a loop back to your hotel. Good first day. Second day, hey, make a loop to the north. Go down and see Wynn, Venetian, those northern end casinos, and make your way back that way to where you're staying. A good second day. A good third day, this might be the day to break out the transportation, whether it's a rental car or a cab or something, and go check out some attractions on the north end of the Strip. You can stop up at the Stratosphere. Maybe if you've got some kids along or you're a kid at heart, you want to check out the circus acts at Circus Circus. I wouldn't, but you can. And make sure you make a trip downtown. And usually downtown is much more lively after dark. In addition to the light show, you have free concerts. Just have a fun street scene, and it's a different kind of experience than you get on the Strip. So that's my advice for, say, a 1, 2, 3 day trip. Don't plan too much, okay? I mean, if there's a specific concert that you want to see or a show that's really popular, tough to get tickets to, sure, plan that out in advance. If there's a restaurant that you definitely want to try that's probably going to be difficult to get into, yeah, make those reservations in advance. But I really don't encourage people to plan breakfast, lunch, dinner, show every day and have that kind of itinerary. Even if you're that kind of person, there's just so many distractions on the Las Vegas Strip and downtown and anywhere you go in town that I hate to sort of see people stuck on a particular agenda when it's so much easier to just kind of go with the flow. Hey, you're going to discover things you didn't know you liked. You're going to think there's things that you're really excited about. When you get there, you're going to be disappointed in them. Most people are going to go back to Las Vegas at some point. That's what, a lot of the folks that subscribe to this channel and watch these videos are people that have been many times. So just assume you'll come back someday. And don't try to pack too much into it. I don't recommend, unless you're going to be staying for 4 or 5 days a week, doing a lot of outlying trips. There's some great places. You can go out and see Red Rock Canyon, its beautiful Valley of Fire, Mount Charleston. You can run out and see Hoover Dam. I mean, unless those are just things you absolutely feel like you want to see, I would save those for another trip if you're only going to be in town for 3 or 4 days. Have a budget, stick to it. Gambling will eat your money most of the time, okay? Once in a while, you have that good day, you have some nice hits, you win. But make sure that you can afford to gamble with the budget that you choose, and when you lose, stop. There's so much else to do, particularly for a first-time visitor. So that's just some general tips that I would offer you as a first-timer, just to have a better experience, to prepare you for what you're going to see around you, which is difficult because it's really dazzling. The Strip, particularly at night, is one of the most astonishing wonders of the world. Okay, if you arrive in the daytime once in a while, you may go, well, there's a lot of buildings here, but it's just a lot of concrete and it's kind of tacky. Just wait till the sun goes down. So I do recommend, another good thing to do is to get a really good vantage point on Las Vegas. You can do that by going up in the Stratosphere Tower, although my personal preference these days, if you're not too, some people are a little, iffy about it, but the High Roller, which is kind of like the London Eye, a giant Ferris wheel that doesn't really do it justice. You can barely tell you're moving. It's a great view. You're right in the middle of the Strip. Do something where you get up high and get a good view of the buildings around you. And if you can go right around sunset, right when the sun goes down and the lights come up, it's a really dazzling show. So, I don't know, I think we've covered a few things that are important. If you have any other questions as a first-time visitor, put them below in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I always try to respond to all the comments. And again, next week we'll talk about how to pick a specific hotel. Good advice for a first-time visitor as well as someone that may be returning. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you. Again, if you did, please like it, hit the subscribe button. We'll be back with more videos of Las Vegas and about Las Vegas in the future. Until we see you next time, I hope you have a lucky day, and we'll see you soon.